Alright, y'all. Here's some footage from a recent trip that I took to a pond known as Trussum Pond. It's just definitely one of my favorite places to fish. I fished there 3 times thus far, and this has by far been my best time. I like this little clip right here because I do kind of like a little shooting of the Senko. You know, you see people where they shoot docks with little crappie jigs and everything, and so I just took that idea and kind of applied it with a Senko, and was able to get into a tight spot and shoot the Senko and get a good bass worth measuring, and worked out really well. So in this video, one of the things I'm doing is I'm picking up fish that are just starting to bed. They're just starting to get the little red on their bottom fins, and they're pretty shallow. And kind of what I was doing throughout the day was I was using my punch setup, and I was flipping my punch setup into just all kinds of cover. I mean, this pond is absolutely covered in cypress trees, and what I was doing was, I'd throw that Texas rigged punch setup into cover, and what would happen was either I'd get a bite or the fish would move and attack it. I'd either miss the hook set, but nonetheless I was able to kind of use it as a search bait to find the fish, and then a lot of the time I would go back after them with a Wacky rig Senko, and that seemed to be the bread and butter for the day. I was able to pull a lot of fish off of their little areas that they were guarding and being territorial on, and got a lot of hookups this day, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy a Senko. I mean, you can skip them like nobody's business, and I really like that about a Senko. And I also like the hook set on it too. It doesn't make much for too exciting video. It's not the power hook set, but it's a very simple, subtle hook set. You're not trying to completely overpower the fish, although sometimes you might need to pull them out of a tree. Like right here, I was pulling that fish kind of up and out of the tree because it was actually pretty hairy situation there that I was fishing. And it's just a nice subtle one. I think one coming up here in a second, like I didn't even know the fish was on, but when I ended up taking the hook out of this fish, I mean, it was all the way into the fish's mouth, and it wasn't even that big of a fish, and he took that whole Senko in. So when they grab that Senko, a lot of the time they're grabbing the whole things. Now I've also had them basically suck the Senko through that metal, or not metal, the rubber O-ring, which I absolutely recommend. Get you some of those rubber O-rings, because those will make your Senko last quite a bit longer. Now I was using Gary Yamamoto Senkos. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Pick up some Senkos. Actually, this is a good point right here that I would like to. So I'm fishing a kind of highly visible. It's supposed to be invisible. Yeah, right. It's the Ultracast spider wire, which is really great, really smooth braid. But I have a fluorocarbon leader attached to it, and use an Alberto knot. And what I like about it is you can definitely see the connection between the fluoro and the braid, because you got that little knot there, and that's always a good indicator of a fish being on, especially when you're fishing something that's not going to be that powerful a hook set. They're just going to be picking up, and you have to be tuned in to the slightest variation that's going on. So definitely fish this with a leader, in my opinion, because that'll give you just some more insight into maybe something that's going on with your line that you might not be able to feel. So try that out. If you like it, hey, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's just kind of my suggestion. I let the let the footage speak for itself. It was pretty easy to see that in the water. And talking more about this place, it is just an awesome place to fish. You've got tons of structure, tons of cover. You got all kinds of underwater stumps. I mean, there's just tons of things you can do in this pond that are really going to work. Frog action, I've seen that work really well. Jig action, I got second place in the tournament on this one using a drop shot. I did try the drop shot, but I was tending to get hung up quite a bit using the drop shot because I was trying to move around place to place and drop shot. I thought that might be a good technique, and it probably was. I just didn't give it a good enough hit. So here I hit a stump with the Propel drive. Not a real big deal. The Propel can really take some damage. I've hit rocks. I've hit all kinds of stuff with it, and I just happened to be messing with it and get a bite. So I'm kind of proud of my little one-hand hook set here. I was able to bring this monster, that beast in. And that day was just the 13-inch, 14-inch fish day, and 12ers and all kinds of sizes. That was a standard size right here. So this hook set was a little cattywampus. I think the fish might have hit a branch or something coming up, but didn't feel good on the wrist, that's for sure. He's a dozer, mate. A real dozer, he is. Go eat that frog. So what I've been flipping into cover is a baby D-bomb. It's made by Missile Baits, and I'm using a 3/0 hook with a 3/8 ounce tungsten weight. It's also what I use for punching certain types of vegetation. But it is just a really good setup. I really like it. I think how you put the hook into the bait matters a lot with this one. I like to kind of bring it through a little bit and skin it, even though it's got kind of ridges on there. It makes it look a little weird, but you know what? Every time I did that, the hook seemed to release more and better and get into the fish's mouth, and my hook sets, I brought the fish in, whereas there's times where I tried it to where it just stuck into the bait from the bottom. I've seen videos of them saying to hook it like that. I just would miss the hook set and would not get it. Maybe the bait would bunch down or something. Any suggestions? Hey, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear them to see what somebody else has to say on that. But that's just kind of what I dealt with. There's a prime example too of why Slayer is just an awesome kayak. Here I was backing up while I was setting that hook and staying out of trouble, staying out of my target zone. Alright, y'all, so thanks for watching. This is Trussum Pond. It's in Delaware. Thanks to all my subscribers, and please leave comments. I like to get those, and I like to get new subscribers. I love seeing that number go up, so please share me. And hey, have a good one.